Dead Space is a sci-fi survival horror game that was originally released on the 14th of October 2008, being developed by EA Redwood Shores and released by Electronic Arts. You play as engineer Isaac Clarke, and after crashing your ship, you are left stranded on the elite spaceship USG Ishimura to fend off against the infected necromorphs whose sole purpose is to kill you to spread the infection. You must fight off the infected by using your trusty plasma cutter to shoot off their limbs, making them easier targets to kill. It's about as brutal as it sounds. Dead Space was successful enough to obtain 2 sequels. Dead Space 2 increased the thrill and gore to shock players, keeping true to its horror roots. And Dead Space 3, well, we don't really talk about that one. But recently, on the 27th of January 2023, almost 15 years after the original Dead Space was released, they dropped the Dead Space Remake to give the classic, new updated visuals, but still keeping faithful to the story and the feel of the first game. I was actually completely unaware of this remake releasing, and just so happened to be a game when I saw physical copies of Dead Space for PS5, only to realise it had only released that day. Since then, I had been interested in getting my hands on this game, and it wasn't until recently that I finally got the chance to do so. So I'm here to tell you about the Dead Space remake and whether or not it's worth buying. Just before this video starts, I'm not sure if it's very easy to tell, but I'm not feeling very well at the moment, but we get through. I'm going to do the video anyways. Last week, missed an upload because of Persona 5 Royal, valid excuse. Being ill, not valid excuse. I don't care if I got hit by a bus, I'm finding a way to do a video. If I ever make a community post saying that I'm ill so there won't be any uploads, you better quote this and say, "Stop being a pussy, you wet Donny," alright, okay? Okay, so let's get to it. So, after being able to play the Dead Space remake, I'm here to say that it didn't let me down. It has some really tense moments and sets a real atmosphere of isolation and claustrophobia as you travel alone throughout the dark, tight corridors of the spaceship, populated by deadly infected that will try to kill you in the most brutal way possible at every turn. The pure amount of gore in Dead Space is something that really works well for this kind of genre, and even encourages it, as dismembering limbs of enemies is the most effective way of taking them down. This gore is amplified to another level with the amazing new graphics of the remake, making it all the more disgusting and shocking to witness the bloody slaughterings you must perform against the necromorphs to survive. Dead Space is a game I personally am so happy got a remake, as the original released over a decade ago, and obviously is very outdated to the new modern climate of gaming. So this fresh coat of paint with stunning graphics and remastered sound design causes it to be at its most horrifying state to date. The design of the necromorphs are just absolutely disgusting in the best way possible, being mutated versions of the deceased humans who were infected, having bones poke out of their backs, large spikes coming out their shoulders, and just overall being pretty messed up looking. There are some different types of necromorphs that you will encounter throughout the game that attack Isaac in different ways, and they all individually messed up in their own way. Dead Space utilizes its environment to make your encounters with the necromorphs as uncomfortable as possible, mostly taking place in dimly lit tight rooms and corridors, meaning that the threat is immediately within close proximity, and leaving you to have to react quickly to be able to survive these encounters. These tight corridors also mean that you need to be alert and ready whenever turning a corner, because they could be right in your face as soon as you do so, ready to attack. Also, due to the darkness that you will mainly be surrounded by throughout your time playing the game, you usually end up hearing the threat before you can actually see it, which is nothing short of horrifying. Being able to know that there is some mutated humanoid parasite within your vicinity, but not being able to actually see where they are, causes tension and anxiety to build in the player, as you're afraid of the unknown, being fully aware that at any moment it could bust out of nowhere and charge for you. This fear of the unknown is played into expertly throughout the game. It focuses on building tension from the very beginning as you sit through almost 8 minutes of the intro, being left in a shroud of mystery as to what is going on in this ship, until finally...
Power to the elevator.
Positive anomaly detected. Quarantine activated.
Another malfunction?
No. The
Quarantine systems are all fine.
Oh, wait. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
Batman?
Take it easy. Daniel, get those elevators.
There's something in here with us.
Oh, God!
Shit! No! Daniel, get the doors open!
Get out of there!
Hands up the door!
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. Being chased down by a completely unknown threat which seems unstoppable at the start of the game. But after this point, you obtain the blicky, from the point onwards that you keep that thing on you, so whenever you see all those disgusting creatures of hell, you just whip out the fol and make sure all their kids don't grow Tupac Shakur style. Having a method of defending yourself makes you feel a bit more at ease, but it's not by much at all, because you have no real idea about the threat that you're actually facing, like where they came from, what caused the ship to be overrun with them, how many are there, and so they always pose a threat to you, and make sure that you stay on your toes every step of the way. Sometimes these necromorphs are on some next level tactical masterclass, like they were coached by Pep Guardiola, because you'll get attacked from both sides, genuinely causing some intense moments where you are fighting for your life, trying to take them both down before they can smack you up and infect you with their disease. The gameplay of Dead Space is nothing short of terrifying, and keeps you on the edge of your seat throughout your playtime. As you progress, you obtain new weapons to help you on your journey of murking all those infected Donnies that try to clap your cheeks. Along with killing the necromorphs, you need to be aware of your resources and manage them wisely, as in typical survival horror fashion, you have a limited inventory space. Therefore, you need to make sure you have the appropriate items needed to aid you in your journey, such as ammo for your weapons, health packs, and maybe items that you can sell at the store to buy more items. Taking as minimal hits as possible is ideal, as you'll be able to keep as many health packs as possible stored up for the tougher enemies in the game. Necromorphs will drop credits, ammo, and health packs once killed by stomping on their corpses. Yeah, I did say this game is pretty brutal, but it makes it that much more gritty and shocking to the player to witness. The sound design for this game is also top notch, with the ambience creating a real tense and uncomfortable environment for the player, with suspenseful music whenever you are in the vicinity of danger. Along with that, the sounds that the necromorphs actually make are just so disturbing and just actually disgusting, exactly how it should be for a game like this. So that just makes all these moments where you can hear them lurking in the shadows all the more terrifying. Expertly done. I also want to mention that the story of Dead Space is roughly around 12 hours long, which is, I guess it's pretty standard for some games, but for the £60 price tag, that might be a bit of a put-off for some people. So be aware that if you are interested in buying this game, that it is 12 hours long, so, you know, maybe on a bit of the shorter side, but it's pretty average, I think, for some games, and I think it's alright, you know. It's just a more of a shorter experience that you'll be able to finish in like a week. So, yeah, no, it's, overall, I've actually had a pretty good time with the Dead Space remake, and like I've said before, I'm very happy that this game actually got a remake, because the original Dead Space, if you look at it now, the graphics are so outdated. It just needed that new visual style with all the new sort of engines and just the graphical improvements that have happened since that. I mean, like I said, it's almost been 15 years. So, of course, we're going to have much better graphics now, and it looks amazing. I'm so happy that it's actually here. And, yeah, they actually decided to make it. I'm very happy about that. So, I would say that this game is worth buying, but the decision is most definitely up to you. If you don't feel like spending 60 quid on a game that's 12 hours long, I fully understand, and that is entirely up to you. But my review on the game is it's very good. It's a classic horror game, and it's definitely worth at least looking into. Maybe even you can just watch someone do a playthrough on the game if you're not sure about getting it yourself. That also works. Well, that's all from me today then. Have a good day, evening or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.